Alright, man, so, dude, as you guys may remember, a few videos ago, I checked out the YouTube animator known as Jaiden Animations and some very interesting issues she was facing, right? Basically, I found a Twitter account and many other things that were dedicated to nothing but, I guess, drawing and depicting her in some very weird and, inappropriate ways. Now, that is the only way I can put it without getting this video demonetized and age restricted. It was that bad. Now, sadly, this isn't anything new that creators have to deal with. I mean, there are many other creators on the platform that have the same issue, where, you know, they have a weird group in their audience that tends to draw them in some pretty weird ways, and, you know, normally it's more of an underground operation, but when it comes to Jaiden Animations, it's really not as rare. Like, it's not that hard to find. You can look up Jaiden Animations on Google, and you're gonna find a bunch of really inappropriate art, and, what we're checking out in today's video, fanfiction. Now, fanfiction has been around on the internet for a pretty long time. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys watching the video may have even, you know, read a fanfiction yourself. Now, when it comes to fanfiction, it's normally, like, stereotyped as some really disgusting, inappropriate thing, when in all reality, not all fanfiction is bad. Sometimes there's people creating their own story out of characters they like, but sadly, man, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There is a weird kind of fanfiction that is basically dedicated to shipping certain characters. Now, if you want to ship, like, two characters in an anime, that I don't have an issue with. Like, yeah, I would still argue it's a bit weird, but it's an anime, right? They're not real characters. However, when it comes to YouTube creators, it's a bit different because YouTube creators aren't like a made-up thing, right? They are real human beings behind the videos that you're watching. So, I think you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this. There are people out there that tend to write some really weird fan fiction of their favorite creators. Now, Jaiden Animations, unfortunately, is no exception to this. She has, I would say, quite possibly one of the most large collections of weird fan fiction I've ever seen. And in today's video, we're gonna be reading a deleted fan fiction that I would say is quite possibly the weirdest one I've ever read. Now, I know I could go to like any other fan fiction on Wattpad, you know, the home of degenerates, but dude, this one right here has to be quite possibly the weirdest one that I've ever had the displeasure of reading. However, before I get into the fanfiction today, a large majority of you guys that watch my content aren't subbed, and I'm really trying to hit 100K by summer. It's one of my biggest goals. So if you guys end up enjoying the video and you want to help me, you know, reach the goal, then go down below, hit that big red button. Also, enable all notifications so you get notified every time I upload. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. Anyways, without any further ado, let's read. The Odd One Zhao X Jaiden Animations. Oh boy. Jaiden peacefully sat down on her chair as she started working on her next video. Jaiden, maybe, ... our relationship video? James, so now you want to make our relationship public, he giggled. Not yet, she smiled back at him. As Jaiden kept working on her video, she called out for James without getting a response. James, she yelled multiple times until she heard a weird ripping noise. She looked down to see what was happening as she saw James peacefully licking her oh, okay. Alright, bro, I did not expect that one. Like, I was reading this, I was like, okay, where's this going? And then it just jumps right into it. Like, it escalated very quickly. Like, I have never seen a fanfiction that gets this weird so quickly. Like, oh my god, I was not prepared for that one. Right after ripping open her legging, oh my god. You know, normally when it comes to storytelling, you like to have a bit of pacing, like you like to, I guess, have the anime build up, the anime lore. This one, it's like, okay, she's making a video, and then 5 seconds later, James is ripping open her leggings and going ham. I gotta watch myself here, I gotta watch myself. James, she yelled at him. What? Yeah, is that even a question? Well, what do you think she's screaming at you about? Maybe the, action you just committed, bro. Those are brand new, she said. Don't worry, I'll pay for them. Just let me have this. Fine. The squishy sounds of James's tongue acting almost like a blank were extremely blank for both. Jaiden couldn't help but love the feeling of getting her blank. The liquids that were running through James's mouth were warm and why? Why does it have to get so descriptive, bro? Like, listen, right? I understand you want to immerse the weirdos that are reading this stuff unironically into the story, but how do you sleep at night knowing this is the kind of stuff that you do as a pastime? Like, not only did you write this for your own weird satisfaction, right? You went through, you did some revision, you reviewed the story, and then you're like, okay, this is totally okay. I'm gonna upload this to Wattpad, the most degenerate fanfiction site out there. Like, what is the thought process of doing this? Like, what led you to do this? What made you think this is a good idea, bro? You are genuinely a weirdo. Jaiden sat her hand on James's hot oh god, help us all. Oh my god, I'm touching a blank. What is this story? Like, is that something you freak out about? Like, she's a full-grown adult. I don't think it's something like magnificent or something life-changing she's experiencing, bro. Jaiden slightly set her lips on James' thing, trying to push herself more to blank. James held back on her desk as Jaiden started to push James's thing in her mouth, starting to Notice how half the story I'm reading has to be crossed out, because if I were to leave it uncensored, there is a high possibility my video is gonna get demonetized or age restricted. Like, that's how extreme this story is getting. And like, I gotta ask, bro, like, listen, right? Maybe your brain's a bit weird and this is the kind of thing that you like to think about quite frequently. Like, that's weird, right? Like, I'm still gonna, I guess, poke some fun at you. That's a bit weird, but the fact that you thought this was perfectly okay, the fact that you lack the basic human sanity to realize that this right here isn't normal and you publish this story to the internet, it really says a lot about you. And this story has been up for, I think, a good amount of time. Like, if I check the release date of this masterpiece, it was uploaded in 2019, and when I go to look for the original story, I just simply cannot find it. So this was up for a good, like, year and a half before they're like, yeah, you know what, man, maybe this crossed a few boundaries, right? You know, maybe I should take this one down. Like, you didn't think that 15 minutes after you got done enjoying it? Now, I went to go, like, I guess, get more of the story, but dude, it just keeps getting more and more descriptive and worse every single time. Like, as I'm reading it, I think, okay, it's hit rock bottom. There is zero way it can get worse than this. 10 seconds later, it just keeps escalating more and more into something bigger. Like, it's to the point where I have to, like, replace, like, almost every single word in the sentence and then substitute them to the point where, like, you wouldn't even understand what I'm trying to say here, bro. Like, oh my god. It gets to the point where I'm like, what went through your head to make you think this is okay? Because I understand, right? Like, it's not something that I don't think is inherently illegal to write weird fanfictions like this. Like, I don't think there's any legal issue, but you just gotta realize, like, dude, put yourself in their shoes. Like, for a minute, if you were an online animator and you had, like, you were an introvert or you had, like, social issues, would you really appreciate it if somebody, like, wrote a weird story like this about you and one of your female friends when you guys have, like, zero involvement like that? Even if you were in, like, a relationship, I feel like reading a story like this about you would make you feel pretty uncomfortable. And plus, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that James has a girlfriend that isn't Jaiden. Surprise, surprise. So that's just flat out disrespectful. Like, maybe they weren't together at the time this story was written, but there are many other stories that have been written like this that have been uploaded probably while the two were dating. Like, dude, just have basic respect. Like, have the human decency to realize, hey, James is in a relationship with somebody who isn't Jaiden. Maybe let's not write weird stuff about him being with another, you know, woman when I don't think the odd one's out is out here cheating on his current girlfriend, you know? Like, I thought the stuff we checked out in the last video was bad enough, but dude, this right here kind of opened my eyes to how deep down this rabbit hole can get. So I recommend to all you guys watching the video to not look any of this stuff up. Like, I understand it is fairly easy to find, but for your own brain cells and for your own, like, I guess, yeah, for your own sanity, just don't look it up. Like, I censored all the brain-numbing stuff in this video so you can still keep your sanity. I lost my sanity so you guys don't have to. I think that's deserving of a like on the video, you know? But anyways, man, all jokes aside, that is all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, go down below, hit that big red button, also enable all notifications. Also, if you guys want to see more videos like this one, click on the videos popping up on screen to see more. I promise they're not as weird as the thing we checked out today. But anyways, man, thank you for watching the video. It really does mean the world to me. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Stay safe.